Hey guys, it is Saturday, August 22nd. The time is 9:14 p.m. And that was Summerhill TTC subway station I was just in front of. And what happened was I was taking the train home after just recording a live stream, and apparently someone had jumped in front of the train that I was on. So the power cut out, so we were just sitting there pretty much still in the subway station. They evacuated everyone out to the street corner here, where apparently they're sending some shuttle buses. And it looks like they've just started to make their way down here now. The shuttle buses were only supposed to go as far as St Clair Station. But they've extended them down to Summerhill, and I don't know how far south. They've closed the subway stations. Usually when there's an incident like this, they'll close the next station at least in either direction. So I didn't really feel like standing around and cramming myself onto a shuttle bus, so I thought I'd pull out my camera and just go for another walk. So this is north on Yonge Street now, towards St Clair. Some more sirens off in the distance. I'm surprised. It looks like that's probably an ambulance making its way up to the station, well off to the south there. I'm willing to bet it turns. There it goes, it's turning towards the station. There were a number of police officers on the scene right away, but that's the first other type of emergency vehicle. But I didn't want to stand around and gawk or join the large rush of people waiting to board what will be a very crammed shuttle bus. And I had a thought of pulling out my camera while we're on the train, because apparently the person's remains were right next to the car that I was in on the tracks. There were a number of employees in that area peering out the window from inside the train, but I didn't think that was the most appropriate thing to do. And when I got outside and I saw the mess of people, I thought, I'm probably just going to walk it from here. And so far, there hasn't been a single shuttle bus that's gone by. It's a matter of how far south these are going before they turn around and load up with people. They could be closed all the way down to Yonge and Bloor, in which case the northbound shuttle buses are going to be very packed. They look pretty empty heading south there. I hear more sirens off in the distance. And they're coming from this side now. Of course, that could be for something completely unrelated. We'll see if it turns left right here. Oh, it seems to have gone straight through, so there must be some other emergencies because we've seen fire trucks roaring by in both directions now. My other option would be to pop in a St Clair station and hope there's some shuttle buses there heading north, although most of those have probably already been redirected to the south. There's a busy outdoor patio. Looks like that place is called Barsteiners. This is sort of where Midtown Toronto begins. Sounds like there's some more sirens coming this way. I haven't seen an ambulance yet. I think this is one here. Based on how staff were evacuating us, they kind of said, yep, there's a jumper, everyone's got to get off. They're kind of casual about it. Of course, you want to hope for the best, but based on their reactions and the fact that emergency personnel weren't rushing down to the platform, one can only assume that this individual was probably done for. I don't know how to politely or politically correctly say that. Certainly hope that's not the case. But they did refer to him as a jumper, and they even announced it that way over the PA system. There's an entrance into St Clair Station right there, but it looks like there's a very large crowd of people up here on the sidewalk. Normally you'd catch the shuttle bus inside the bus bay, but since this is no longer the southern terminus of the shuttle bus route, I guess they've sort of hoarded all the people onto the sidewalk. And so far, there hasn't been a single shuttle bus traveling north on Yonge Street. It's been, what, a good 15 minutes probably since I was evacuated. Oh, here comes one. And it's empty. If there's more to come, I just threw my mask on. It looks like they're boarding. However, I don't want to get on and take a spot from someone that's clearly been waiting longer than me. I was kind of hoping a whole bunch of shuttle buses would pop out, especially during the coronavirus pandemic, where you typically don't want to overcrowd. There's another shuttle bus coming, but since that one is coming from the south, I'm going to assume that it's absolutely packed. And there's probably not many people getting off. So let's keep walking. As you can see, they're not packing the buses too full of people. This has certainly turned out to be more of a vloggy style video than I normally do. There's the Loblaws at St Clair Station. I'm only going up to Yonge and Eglinton, which is 2 more stations to the north from here. Next would be Davisville. They're running shuttle buses quite frequently over the weekends as they're installing a new automatic train control system. The current system is quite ancient from my understanding, and it's one of the reasons why the trains can't always stop in the same spot on the platforms. This will help them manage the flow of trains much more efficiently. They're saying it'll lead to less inefficiencies and sort of traffic jams within the subway tunnels. However, there always seems to be people down on the tracks or pressing the emergency strip on the trains, so I'm not sure just how much more efficient things will get, especially if you ride downtown during rush hour on the subway. There's certainly an abundance of stops that most trains make. This bar here used to be the Fox and the Fiddle. And there's a Popeyes kind of calling my name. That's just a look south down Yonge Street. This neighborhood is known as Deer Park. It's relatively affluent. There's not a whole lot of high rises. Straight ahead here on the left, on Lawton Boulevard, you will find a number of rental apartment buildings. And there's some other low-rise buildings scattered about, but just immediately in here to the left, off of, I believe, a street called Oriole Gardens. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Come on, Lyft driver. The guy said, "Hi, how are you?" It would be nice if he took that a little bit slower. I was certainly ready to stop. And I've still only seen 2 shuttle buses heading north. It is going to be a bit dark for this part of the walk. This part of Yonge Street doesn't have particularly great lighting. Just at the bottom of this hill here on the right will be Mount Pleasant Cemetery, which is a really old cemetery that dates back to the 1800s. I think it's the largest one in the city of Toronto. I recently did a bicycle ride down the Beltline Trail, which passed through here. Perhaps I'll put a timestamp or a subtitle right here if you just want to skip ahead to the part where it gets light again. I don't blame you. I can barely see anything on the viewfinder here. And just on the left is where the Line 1 subway emerges from the tunnels and becomes above ground. And it stays above ground till north of the next station, which is Davisville Station. And that is where the TTC headquarters are located. And normally when I walk on this side here with my camera, I'm sure to catch some trains whizzing by. It's always kind of a neat shot, but given that they're not operating this weekend, so I'm glad I paid $3 just to go a few stops north, get out and walk. I might as well have just walked all the way home from downtown. Classic TTC right there, although there's not really anything they can do about this situation. And man, we're really not seeing any shuttle buses going north here. There's a whole bunch coming south. It would be quite ridiculous if I was able to walk from Summerhill to Eglinton quicker than taking a shuttle bus. I don't know exactly how far that is, but it's quite a ways. Well, there's some trains that are on right now. They're probably shuffling them around the train yard. And I think my legs are really gonna feel it tomorrow. I went downtown once today, forgot my camera, went home, went back down again, recorded a walk around Kensington Market, which I'm not sure if I'll post. Just looks like there was a few issues with the brightness. I haven't yet gone on the computer yet to see it. I'll do that as soon as I get home. And then I did a live stream that went on for well over an hour, I think. Hey, wow, look at that shuttle bus. That was absolutely packed. I think that's the third one that's gone by. I have no idea if I would have been on that one. Probably not. And I'm not the type of person to push my way to the front of the line anyways. Nor would I cram into a space that tight given the current situation. But since I can be reasonably confident I wouldn't have been on any of those 3 shuttle buses. Well, I could have been on that one at St Clair, but I didn't want to be a jerk and push my way on. I was just kind of hoping a whole parade of them would show up. There's a pretty cool look at the streetcar yards. Streetcar subway. And that's Davisville Station right there on the left. And we are at Yonge and Davisville. There's the bar across the street, the Bull. Here's the regular Yonge Street bus, not in service. This one sort of supplements the subway. That would be the 97F. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Not sure if that's coming into focus, but I've done 20,057 steps today so far. Less than I thought I would have done. Whoa. There must be an awful lot of people waiting back there to catch a shuttle bus. So this is Yonge and Davisville. Well, Davisville is on the right, and Chaplin Crescent is on the left. Just look at the subway station. There's a pretty packed shuttle bus. I'm just gonna give my legs a brief rest here. cross at the signal. Although this isn't doing my race against the shuttle buses any good. This is a very unnecessary street crossing here. But we also get to go by some of the bars, at least one of them here. Kramer's. The bus is coming here, but given how few people actually get off at Davisville Station, I would anticipate getting on one of these shuttle buses coming this way. And not too long ago, where this new loft is right here, used to be a Rogers store. I remember because when I moved into my current place, they had a deal where you could get their box, cable, and TV, the whole thing, for quite cheap. And as soon as that deal was up, I returned everything. There's the Wallace Gastropub. There's a place called Pizza Shop. Never heard of that place. This will be quite ridiculous if I can get to Eglinton before at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 more buses go by. There's the new location of Robbers. And yes, I mispronounced that intentionally. Indian Resto Bar. I think that's it was a failed Mexican restaurant before. These outdoor patios are new to the city this year, courtesy of the virus, of course. It'll be interesting to see if they're back next year. And just across the street is a very large location for St. Louis Bar and Grill. They have a very large outdoor patio anyways. Wow, look at that shuttle bus. I don't think physical distancing is a thing on that one. That was Hokkaido Ramen, which is quite good. And across the street is Mariachi's and 5 Doors North. A couple well-known bars in this area, or restaurants actually. And that is Yonge and Eglinton. There goes another pretty filled shuttle bus. I might have been on one of those last few that came by had I have waited. I really don't know how far south they went. And what I mean by that is they might have filled up with people before they got to Summerhill, but there seems to be a steady flow of shuttle buses, and this is about where they let off, just north of these lights. So rather than crush myself onto a bus, I chose to get some more exercise in. And we're at 21,000 steps. This one's not so bad. I find it tends to be up to the driver and the people loading these buses. There's often TTC employees outside, and they will stop letting people on if they're too full. But sometimes they really let the buses fill up, and sometimes they don't. So I think there's not a very consistent approach. And speaking of inconsistent, I've noticed an awful number, or an awful lot of TTC employees not wearing their masks inside transit property. Not just in the ticket booth or where the bus driver or streetcar operator sits, but actually out and amongst all the customers. It's really hard to ask your customers to cover their face if you can't even do that yourself for your own employees. Not complaining, just making an observation. Just seems hypocritical, that's all. This building here looks like it's slated for redevelopment or demolition. Used to be where TD Melashmonics was located, which was a group insurance company. They still exist, but they've since rebranded. I was going to do a proper narrated walk around Midtown, something a bit more informative than this. And I was going to do it at night. But I think, given that this impromptu video just happened, I'll do a daytime Midtown tour. There's the old famous Players, Canada Square Theatres. They, of course, built new theaters just on the north side of Eglinton. I believe it was a Silver City, but then Cineplex took over the Famous Players chain. And they also ended up taking over most of what was left of AMC. So we really just have one dominant cinema and a few other smaller players. There's a Mandarin buffet that's been here since the beginning of time. Right there. Looks like it's takeout only right now. And this is the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton. There's the Yonge Eglinton Center. And that's the new E-condos. There used to be a very unique TD Bank on that corner, but it was torn down. And clearly part of the agreement was they could occupy that prime space right there. And I actually live to the north of that intersection, but I turned this way because I'm quite hungry. And I was talking about this place on my live stream, so it's kind of ironic that here's where I'm going, but so be it. And we have reached the promised land. I've got my mask on. Well, thanks for watching this very last minute video. And there are links to Instagram and Patreon in the description. Don't forget to leave me your thoughts and comments. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you on the next one.